Something I want to touch on here because it came up this week was about open offers being on realtor.ca. So the end of blind bidding. This will be a pretty cool clip to put out there.
Yeah.
So open offers, Darryl, we talked about this a little bit when blind bidding was all a big thing in the news because people were going in and they were overpaying. The highest bid would be, 200 grand over asking. The second place guy was like 5 grand over asking. And so everyone's like, well, that's crazy. It's causing unnecessary inflation in housing prices. It's unfair to the buyer, yada, yada, yada. Sellers obviously are like, well, we want to get the most amount of money for my home. The buyers want to pay 200 grand over asking. Let them pay. That's what they think it's worth. Who's to say that they're wrong? And of course, buyers want to be protected. And there's this debate because the consumers are being protected as the sellers through in Ontario our Real Estate and Business Brokers Act and whatever else it's called in other provinces. They cannot disclose what offers are. So open offers came up with a solution that said we're going to allow people to have the ability to decide as the seller that they will publicly announce how much offers are on the table. So therefore, it's a more open, transparent process, yada, yada, yada. This week, Darryl,
TK, can you do me a favor? Can you make an offer for 1.3 million and submit it for me? I won't tell nobody.
So this week, Realtor.ca launched the pilot program of open offers, and I want to know what Steve thinks this is going to do for the industry.
Is it across the nation? Is this across
Realtor.ca? It's Korea, so it's Canadian wide.
Yeah.
Here's the thing where people will for sure start roasting in the comments. So go for it. But do you know why we have closed offers?
To protect the seller and the privacy of the buyer.
To protect, for sure. I mean, the seller maybe.
So the evil agents can make
seller
more
wants to get the
money.
most amount of money.
No, to protect the buyer.
Why?
We have closed offers because I'll give you one of the things. There's many reasons. Privacy, nobody gives a shit about privacy anymore. So don't worry about that.
Not if I'll save 10 grand.
But here's the thing. Here's why there is a closed bid system. Because if I know everybody else's bid, I can just continue to outbid them. And it will drive prices up as it did in Australia, which had a worse system. Yeah. Now let's talk about the actual system.
I think TK said that before too, didn't you?
No, it's a common argument.
Somebody did,
that the real estate associations have released. I'm not going to pretend that this is not a realtor based
auction houses.
It's very true. I have so many buyers when I sell the property or on the listed side buyer, whatever, where they say, if I knew that was the price, I would have offered 5 grand more.
God damn it.
It could drive up prices 100%. But is it really going to drive up prices as much as the guy who overbid? The biggest example I have recently, I have one that was about 3 million. Okay. First place, second place, 3 million apart. But in a residential resale transaction, $240,000 apart, $240,000 money offered, first place offer. The second place offer was a great offer, but the other guy wanted to pay 240K more. So we took that one.
And let's stop pretending that price is the only factor that matters. We have to stop doing that. So how open offers works, and I have no experience with it, so I'm just going to go off of the webinar. Yeah. I'm just going to go off of the webinar on their website, which is in Australian, so I think it's always funnier. But
in Australian, crikey.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you put your house on, then the bids go, and the bids just clip. Now, most of the bids go direct to the listing agent, by the way.
You have to pay to make an offer, or can anybody just
make an offer? My understanding, I don't really know how that works. But once you win, now we go offline, we take the buyer and seller and we go, how about terms? How often is that? How often is that going to fall apart? Right? Did anybody think about the dates that the seller wants, or the dates that the buyer wants, or the subjects in the deal, or whatever? I know Toronto, you guys don't.
Why do you not have to get there to accept that offer? Like, don't you have to see the offers as the seller?
It's like Shark Tank. It's like just for show, and then really afterwards based on the price. Figure it out.
Is that how it fucking works?
Yeah,
it's Shark Tank, and half the deals fall apart after. And then let's say, for instance, you don't get to your number.
Who came up with this?
Right? You don't get to your number, then you just go back on the market like regular. So they're even saying, hey, this is for sure not going to sell each house. So you're going to have to go back to the old system that will get the house sold.
Yeah.
Right. So if
It's a
you miss
gimmick.
your like basically your offer date and you can't come to terms, it's like, okay, here we go.
They got paid by Korea because Korea wastes money like it's, you know, a
What is this?
13-year-old kid with rich parents. And basically open offers is just going to have, it's just a gimmick and it's never going to work.
But-
And there's
but here's-
tons of companies who are offering it as a brokerage level. Right? We had somebody,
Yeah.
remember, who we were going to have on the show who's doing that. And I was like, forget it.
Yeah. There's another thing too, though, which is we have knee-jerk reaction from governing bodies to respond to our industry as a result of market condition, not as a result of what is good for the parties involved in the transaction. So if you make a rule because of what the market's doing, like BC's cooling off period, right, that is not fixing the problem. It's just trying to get someone elected.